I run a coffin shop off State Route 29, just outside a small town in upstate New York called Black Birch. Most folks never notice it in daylight. The front looks like a woodworker's shed with a modest sign. After dark, the sign glows a tired amber, and the glass door reflects the highway's thin river of headlights. I keep my shop open 24 hours because death does not schedule appointments. People find me when the hospital calls at midnight, or when a road turns wet and merciless. I sell caskets and shrouds, vaults and grave markers, candles, crucifixes, a small line of black suits. I also deliver to cemeteries and stay for the service if the family is thin on hands. It started as good customer service. It became habit. It became respect. I sleep in the back room on a narrow cot. The mattress remembers every one of my bones. At night, a little bell on the front door rings like a glass bird whenever someone comes in. I keep a pot of coffee going in a dented percolator and a handwritten ledger next to the register. People assume a coffin shop would smell like chemicals or dust. Mine smells like cedar, wax and rain that comes in on coats. On some nights when the air turns sharp, I can hear the whisper of the pine line beyond the town, like someone dragging their fingers along a washboard made of wind. The night this began, the air had turned cold without warning. It was early October, the sort of evening when the sky looked like brushed steel and the leaves scraped along the pavement in dry whispers. Wind pushed them in lazy spirals toward the ditch. I was oiling a set of brass handles when headlight beams paused in the parking space out front and clicked off. The bell rang. A man stepped in who could have been a movie actor if he had a different kind of pride. He was handsome in a sharp and simple way. Square shoulders, clean shave, hair dark as a raven's wing and neatly combed. His clothes were plain but precise: white shirt, black coat, dark trousers without lint. He looked 30 at most, but his eyes carried a practiced calm people usually earn the hard way. He nodded to me as if we had already met. I waited for the smell I sometimes catch when a person is empty inside. Bottle breath, despair, fear. There was none of that. He smelled like cold air, iron, and the faintest trace of old cologne. He walked the aisle with his hands behind his back, studying the caskets as if they were instruments in a well-kept orchestra. "Help you find something?" I asked. "I think so," he said. His voice was smooth, but not soft. It had the tone of a man who reads names on cornerstones. "I need one of these by morning, preferably tonight." "Sorry for your loss," I said. The words always feel small in my mouth. "Who is the deceased, sir? If you don't mind my asking, it helps me with sizing." He smiled in a gentle, almost embarrassed way. "That is a fair question," he said. "I'm making preparations for a burial at St. Gabriel's, the one on Mill Creek Road. A simple service, no church, no chapel, just the ground. We would like midnight if possible." Midnight is strange for a burial in our county. The town clerk sleeps, the priest is home, and the gravediggers have day jobs. I knew the caretaker at St. Gabriel's would not be there at that hour, but families sometimes handle their own rites. I'd seen farmers lower a cousin with shovels and rope at sunrise. Grief bends rules. "Do you have paperwork?" I asked. "At least a certificate of death?" "It is in order," he said. He didn't reach into a pocket. He didn't show me a folder. "We will deliver it to the caretaker in the morning. I ask only for discretion tonight." I found myself nodding. "What are you thinking for the casket?" We walked to a model people choose when they want dignity without drama. Solid poplar with a satin finish, rounded corners, a simple cross carved into the lid. Cotton interior. It smelled like bread. He laid his palm on the edge as if greeting an old friend. "This will do," he said. "What size?" I asked. 6'1", he said, eyes flicking to my hands. "A narrow frame. That comes with a liner. Would you like a vault?" The cemetery often requires one. A vault, yes, and everything else such a night needs. Candles, rope, cloth, spades. You are the expert. No one calls me that. I wrote a list. He watched my pen move. When I told him the number, he didn't blink. He paid in cash. The bills were clean and crisp, yet felt subtly wrong, like the faces were a shade paler. He didn't bargain. He asked for delivery to St. Gabriel's within the hour. I can come with the truck, I said. Please do, he said. Stay for the service. He thanked me without shaking my hand. He looked around the shop once more, then left with composed steps, as if he had practiced walking in and out without disturbing time. I loaded the truck, casket, vault panels, candle stands, rope, spades, folding table with black cloth. I locked the door, switched off the sign, and drove. Black Birch sleeps early. The diner lights were off, the gas station's pump bagged. The old Mill S red beacon washed my windshield in color that lingered longer than it should have. The courthouse clock hiccuped from 11:50 to 11:40. St. Gabriel sits behind a low stone wall. The gate never closes. It's old ground, family plot, then parish, then open to all. Pines line the west. Tonight, no fog, only wind in the branches like a choir with closed mouths. I turned off the engine. A handful of figures stood near the center path, 5 or 6, all in black coats. No murmurs, no sobs, only candlelight marking a rectangle of turned soil. I backed the truck down the path. A slim woman in a dark hat and veil approached. "Thank you for coming," she said. "We are ready." "Where is the gentleman who arranged this?" "Here," she said, and it made no sense. He wasn't among them. "Please bring the casket." 2 men helped me unload. I set the candles, table, rope, and spades. They lowered the casket to the boards. "Where is the deceased?" I asked. She lifted a hand. 2 more figures appeared from the pines, carrying a stretcher. The sheet was white and clean. They set it beside the grave. They removed the sheet, and I saw the man who had stood in my shop less than an hour earlier. He lay with eyes shut, mouth a calm line, skin cool ivory. Hands folded, gold ring glinting in candlelight. His jaw looked stricter in death. He looked asleep, untouched by violence or illness. My stomach reached for ground and didn't find it. "He liked to handle his affairs," the woman said. The men lifted him into the casket with care. The woman adjusted his collar, smoothed his hair. "Do you wish to say anything?" I shook my head. She nodded, and the lid closed on the ring's last flash. We carried it over the boards. The ropes were soft in my palms. We lowered. The woman placed a folded paper on the lid, kissed it, dropped a brass key into the grave. "Earth to earth," she said, as if sealing a contract. The men shoveled. Dirt covered the lid in arcs. No prayers, no names. They tamped the ground, laid clean soil like a tablecloth. The woman pressed her palm to it. The candles bowed to the dark. "Your work is done," she said. "I need a name for my ledger," I said. "Daniel Crow," she said. It felt like a knife wrapped in paper. I wrote it with the time, just after midnight. The blank for the certificate stayed empty. When I looked up, they were already walking toward the gate in single file, steps soundless. Back at the shop, I put the cash in the register. The bills felt wrong, powdery edges, anachronistic print. I checked the cameras. At the door, a smear of light. At the counter, me talking to empty air. At the aisle, nothing. My hands rang a sale to no one. The next morning, at the county office, Martha typed the name. "Daniel Crow," she said. "Died in 1954. Buried at St. Gabriel's. No recent record." At the cemetery in daylight, the caretaker Joe walked me to the grave. The sod was new but settled, as if a week had passed. A brass key lay in the grass. I pocketed it. Back at the shop, the bills were changing. Ink fading, paper staining like soil. Tiny letters swam in the microprint. "Paid in full." That night the bell rang at 11. The same man walked in, calm and whole. "You did well," he said. "You can't be here," I said. "You're dead." "Names make doors," he said. "You wrote mine. You stayed. You lifted. You're expected." He glanced at the ledger. My name had appeared below his with a date 2 weeks away. I could leave town, I thought. But every plan felt like trying to lift my own shadow. On the 13th, I loaded the truck. At St. Gabriel's, 5 figures waited. The woman took the key from my pocket. "It opens nothing," she said. "It closes what it should." We lowered the casket. "Let it be proper," I said. "Proper," she echoed. Shovels worked. The key fell onto the lid. "Paid in full," she said. When it was done, I drove back. The ledger's ink settled into stillness. Since then, strangers come at the right hour with the right calm. They pay in cash that feels slightly wrong. I write the names clear. I stay if asked. If a key comes into my hand, I keep it until the ground asks for it back. People think horror lives in screams. It doesn't. Real fear moves quiet. It puts your name in your own book and waits to see if you will be exact when your hour comes.